Hey everybody, it's Joel here, and I am streaming live from Los Angeles. It's kind of a new concept for me, and today is a very special day because I've decided to completely screw it up. I'm a kind of a computer geek. A lot of you know that, and you know that I like to figure stuff out on the computer. And sometimes it gets you in trouble. One thing that I have learned is, never change everything right before you're about to go on air, because can be just a total problem. Because right now I think maybe the stream is probably clearer. It's probably crisper. You can probably hear it better. Hopefully, I wouldn't know. I've decided to go with a completely different kind of streaming thing, and I'm going to start letting people know right now what the link is so I can get some people on. This is kind of weird. I'm just going to send out a couple emails here and get some people in the chat room. So this is the concept. The concept is I'm doing stand-up comedy. And we are, having some fun with that. And just a sec, I'm going to just invite a whole bunch of people. So I invited a whole bunch of people. So I see we got some people in our chat room. So glad. I'm too close to the microphone. I got that. Kind of echoey. Is it still echoey? I won't know for a couple of minutes from the chat, but so anyway, a lot of you know that I'm a computer guy, and I love computers. Todd Lee is here. Hello, Todd. So I love using computers, but a lot of times you can get yourself really screwed up. I've learned a lot being a computer technician. One of the things I've learned is that you should never upgrade somebody's operating system because every problem that they have after that will be your fault. And so I make problems for myself sometimes because I'm trying to be all fancy. And today what I'm doing is I saw the stream from yesterday, and I saw it was all choppy, and that sometimes it cuts out. And I started saying, well, how do the professionals do it? How do the professionals do their streaming? So I got all this software, did all this stuff, and now it's super delayed. So I'm going to get your stuff a little bit. I'm going to get your chats a little late, is all I'm saying. I'm going to be getting the chats. Don't get frustrated. I'm going to be reading the chats a little bit more today so I can get the suggestions. I see Todd Lee here saying, is somebody framing a wall? Lots of pounding. Maybe there are big rats in the attic. Yeah, it's possible. I had raccoons in my attic one time, as a lot of you know, and they can be really tough. But I can't control it because I got a neighbor. He bought a house. He's a very wealthy artist. And I guess, he thought, since I'm so wealthy, I think I'll just go buy a bunch of houses and just do construction for years on end, with minimal amounts of construction that don't really add up to anything, but make a lot of noise when you're trying to stream from your garage. Okay. So Todd is in construction. Todd's an interesting fellow because I remember in college we were like, Todd, what are you going to major in? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with yourself besides just have a lot of fun? He was he's kind of a fun person, and we were like, you can't just have fun. You can't just do whatever you want to do and just have fun. And he seems to have managed to do that in spite of us. Todd seems to be living a fantastic life. I'm completely jealous because I look at him on I look at him on Instagram. Instagram is just, and he's like in all these fabulous places, out skiing, playing golf, just having a great time. Well, I'm here in my garage, and there's somebody pounding. It sounds like they're pounding on the wall, right? But anyway, this is fun. Thanks everybody for joining. I screwed up the computer thing today, but maybe it's going to get better. It's going to get better. I have been, for several years, maybe even 10 years, I decided that I was going to be a computer support technician. And I went around helping people with their computers, which is a huge, huge mistake. You should never let people know that you know anything about computers, because what happens is you become responsible for everybody's computer device. I have friends that I haven't seen them for years, and they come up to me and they just hand me their phone. They don't even say hi. They just hand me it, and then they start to say what's wrong with it. It's storage is full. Storage is full. That's like the latest greeting that people have. And you know what? All of our phones are full. You can't get enough space because you're trying to cram your life into that little phone, which is a miracle, by the way. I remember when I first got my first Trio, and I got some email on my phone. Yeah, my wife. My wife is saying, "What's the Adobe password?" These are the things. People, and Todd is saying, I post positive things to veil the PTSD from the shower room and the twin toilets at Sigma Nu. Yeah, I know. It's hard to really get over it. College is a very, very stressful time. Twin toilets. So I'll just speak to that. When I was in college, I was at the University of Washington, and this guy Todd Lee was there, and Neil Phillip, and all these friends of ours, and we actually had a bathroom that had toilets right next to each other. Right next to each other. Not like with a wall in between. I don't know who would come up with this idea. Who thinks that that's a good idea? To put two toilets right next to each other so people would just sit there and talk and defecate. Is it defecate? I think for animals it's different. Animals it's, I don't know. There's copulate and fornicate, defecate, and maybe it's just defecate. Anyway, they would sit next to each other and defecate. It's the most disgusting thing in the world, and I can't even believe Todd is bringing it up. I actually would go down to campus to take a crap. I would actually, and campus was not like close. You had to walk like a mile to get to the nearest bathroom. But I would not do the twin toilets because it was just, it seems like a terrible experience. I think it's a bad idea to use the toilet with your spouse in the room. I mean, I ban that from the beginning because, there's certain intimacy. People are so into the transparency these days, Oh, I've got to be transparent. I gotta live stream from my freaking garage, and I gotta be completely transparent about the twin toilets in college. It's disgusting, these people. They're a bunch of exhibitionists. So we don't have to talk about the twin toilets anymore. Let's just let it go. Let this go, man. Let it go. I'm gonna take a look at this here. There's all kinds of now crosstalk going on that's going to cause me all kinds of trouble. And that's the nature of it. That's the nature of putting yourself out in public. A lot of us, we want to put ourselves out in public, but we want to, make sure that we look good. So we get the hairdresser and the makeup person and the proper lighting. And that's just everyone's life now. Because when you take the Instagram picture, you want to make sure that your friends are going, "Oh my God, he's living this incredible life. What the hell? Why am I not doing that? But chances are you probably are living the same life, having a great time sometimes, and other times, having to sit on twin toilets. Yeah. And sometimes you're trying to do, your live streaming, and there's like some kind of pounding going on, and maybe a saw. I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to get some soundproofing in here. Okay, so I'm going to take some suggestions from the audience for topics, and I'm going to do it in a very delayed sort of way. I'm going to take a look at this here, this chat. Oh yeah, this is getting really incredible here. It's a rotohammer. See, Todd knows this stuff because Todd is in building construction. He's like a mogul. Todd is a mogul, and he can tell from the sound, from a far off sound, whether something's a rotohammer or a circular saw or a jackhammer. He knows these things. I know nothing about this stuff because I was smart enough to stay away from construction because I know how much trouble that can be. When we were at the University of Washington in Seattle, they built the stadium. They built a brand new stadium. And, they had those huge grandstands with the top, and it looks like a big jaw, like a big mouth. And they built a gigantic one. And just when they were just about done, the whole thing collapsed on itself. And I wouldn't want to be responsible for anything like that. Because people could die. If I upgrade your operating system and you lose all your precious photos, that's pretty bad. But if you have an entire stadium of people in one of those jaws and it eats them, thank God there was nobody in there. Thank God. Thank God Todd wasn't running that thing. That could be horrible. Unemployment, that's funny. Tell us about the coronavirus, how it's affecting your job. Okay, so Neil says unemployment. That's funny. It's difficult times. The reason I'm doing this is because we need humor in these times, and I don't know if there's been any humor so far, but that's the attempt here. Get a little humor out there while we're sitting in our homes doing God knows what. God knows what we're doing. But the thing is, not to get crazy or anything about this unemployment thing, but the unemployment rate is down, apparently. But now we got this coronavirus, so most of the people are going to have a hard time working. I'm completely, I'm kind of blessed in a way because because I'm a computer guy, I can do my job pretty much anywhere. But I don't know, restaurants and bars and all that stuff. Maybe those people can get on here and give me material to help them get through it. I don't know. Who knows what's going on? Coronavirus, how is it affecting my job? My job, my work, we have been setting up how to work remotely for decades now, it seems like. So for my job, I'm lucky. But I think one of the things that we have to do is if you are able to still work in this environment and not go around getting coronavirus, you should probably pay the people that are dependent on you. You should probably try and give some money to the people. Like, let's say you have somebody that comes over and mows your lawn every day. And maybe now they can't go around and mow people's lawns, or maybe you have somebody that cleans your house, and that person can't come over and clean your house because they might be spreading coronavirus. Pay them anyway. If you got a job that you can keep working and you have an income coming in, you would be paying them anyway. And maybe you'll, learn how to do some handyman stuff with a rotohammer. I don't know. Let's see. When you start performing, you should hire a crew next door for sound effects. I get them for free. I get them for free. This is all free of charge. And you know what? I could probably get some Foley recordings over here and sell them online. Foley recordings, I think, if you don't know what that is, that's basically sound effects that they put into the movies after the fact. I used to have a friend who was a Foley artist, and she would have to figure out how to make certain sounds. They would get like a box, like for walking on gravel, they'd have to get a box and put a bunch of rocks in it and just walk up and down on it. That was a job. Still a job. And there are people who just go around looking for sounds. Like if I wanted to, because when you get those sounds, you want to get the specific sound, the actual sound. You don't want somebody like Todd watching the show and going, "That's not a roto hammer. It's ridiculous. It's a claw hammer. What does a claw hammer sound like? I don't know. Claw hammer is just a regular hammer, I think. I don't know. My dad had 200 hammers. Yeah, and he made most of them himself. My dad was a metalsmith. He is a metalsmith. Well, lately he's been doing painting, and he had these big forearms like Popeye, and bang on metal, and he had like 200 of these hammers. Beautiful, beautiful hammers. What's going on here? Oh yeah, they changed my cubicle to a big couchy area. Yeah. So at work, they moved us to a new area. They moved us one floor down. We were on the 4th floor, and they moved us to the 3rd floor. And when they designed the area, they designed it like we worked at Google or something. I think probably they saw, basically they were moving towards an open space work area, which I think somebody who doesn't work my job came up with this great idea of, and what they call it, hot swapping desks. So basically you can jump around to different desks. You don't have to be on the same desk every day, and some of the desks, they just turn into like a big area with a bunch of couches. So you could and they had schematic drawings of us there just working away in the lounge area. But what they didn't realize was that for our job, you need like 5 screens, and you need to be like typing constantly while on the phone and chatting and doing all these like things. And there's no way you could just be lounging about with an iPad on the couch. So, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful area. They've got free soft drinks, and a lot. And they decided to go without paper cups anymore. So they've got all these very nice ceramic cups. But that just makes for a lot of dishes. I don't know who's going to do the dishes. It's just the sink is full, like you live in a frat house or something like that, just full of dishes. And then all of a sudden the coronavirus. So who wants to do the dishes, right? Who wants to touch that? It's an epidemic. It is an epidemic. It's a pandemic. What the hell here? Sounds like we're all getting an MRI. That's what it says here. Let's hear about construction projects in India. Hot swapping sounds like a terrible idea right now. Yeah, hot swapping does sound like a terrible idea. Well, in India, we travel to India a lot, and I don't want to. India is an incredible place. When my wife and I started going out 20 years ago, we started dating, she asked me if I wanted to go to India with her and her mom, which I didn't know. My experience with India at the time was very, very minimal. The only Indian person that I really knew before my wife was half Indian. The only Indian person I knew, no, I didn't know any. Okay, I don't think. So India to me was like a lot of jungles and some British guys walking around in safari gear. But people started saying, when you go to India, your life is going to change. And what are you going there to find? What are you going to find there in India? Are you going to find yourself? And I was like, no, this girl that I started going out with, she's going there, and her mom's going there. Like, oh, well, you got to find something inside. It's deep, deep inside. So I was like, well, okay, whatever. But I went over there, and I did find that it's a very different place. And in 2000, this was like 2000, 2001 when we went. And one of the things that I found was that in India, people don't have the same needs that we have. We seem to have this idea that we're like climbing some kind of ladder, trying to get to some place that's going to be better. There's always like a better place that we're trying to get to, and if we don't get to it, we just spend our whole life just struggling, trying to get to that place. In India, nobody seems to be trying to get to any place. At least when we were there the first time, because it wasn't really influenced by Western culture as much. It's a little more now. But people were just living their lives, and also they were very aware of other people. Like I was walking around India and I dropped my sweater. I didn't even know I dropped it. Like half an hour later, some guy comes up and and I'm like, when I saw the guy, I was like, because I thought he was trying to rob me or something, or I thought he was trying to steal something from my pockets or something. I was like, get away from me! And he's there with my sweater. I didn't even know, and then I'm like, oh, maybe there's something in the sweater, or maybe there's, just total paranoid American, used to anybody that comes up to me and wants to take something from me. So I learned that. Another thing I learned is, this was kind of deep. We were up in northern India, and we were in a place called Chandigarh. And I was in a park. And there was a giant pile of burning trash. That's one thing they do in India, which I don't know. I'm not going to judge. But it's kind of weird. A big pile of burning trash. Just raging fire in the middle of this park. And I'm freaking out. And this old man comes by, and I say, hey, who's looking at this fire? And he says, you are. Exactly. Who's looking at this coronavirus? You are. So a lot of us these days are trying to be all macho about this problem that we're having. And the thing is, people are like, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing my thing, I don't care, nobody, I'm tough, I can handle it. The problem is, as a lot of you know in Seattle who are on here, a lot of you know that, it's our responsibility for other people, not just ourselves, to not try and be some kind of weird hero. If you want to be a hero, just stay out of the public spaces for now. That's heroic. Not trying to persevere through some kind of thing that you can't control, that all you're doing is making it worse. When this first thing happened, like last week, and things are happening fast. I was in Seattle, you guys are in the future. You guys are in the future of what's going on with this thing. So we should be looking at that. We should be looking at Europe. We should be looking at China and going, okay, so this is what was happening in the beginning. How can we flatten the curve, as they say? Smell the burning trash is what I'm saying. Smell the burning trash. That's the name of this episode. If there is a name, I don't know. I don't even know how long this has been going. Does anybody know what time we're on now? Maybe you can tell me in the chat room, because I can't work this damn software. Because I tried to do something to make it a little clearer to people, and it's working. It's working quite well. Any other topics? Oh, we're 12:10. 12:10. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Any topics out there that you want to learn about, to know about, do have? Trump is giving a live address. God, the guy is always in the way. He's always in the way. He's always trying to muscle in. He heard about the Joel Marshall Myth Club live stream, and now he's trying to put his big butt right in there. Just trying to squeeze right in there. I'm so pissed at him because he's always trying to hone in on my action. I wonder what he's going to say. Now he's going to say, go out and like when George Bush said, go out and just start spending. When there was like a economic crisis, he said, just go out there and start spending. So apparently we're going to have to get some tests, right? We're going to have to get tested. What does that look like? An MRI? Does it have to do with some kind of blood? Right now, it seems like Amazon should be sending us kits. When we test ourselves, we send it back. I don't know. Someone make that happen. How are we going to vote? I think Trump is going to make it so we can't vote. I think that's what he's hoping. He's hoping to ride out this virus thing, make it big enough that we're not going to be able to vote. And he's just going to be like, well, I'll just stay in for the next 4 years. That's probably what's going to happen. So, interesting. Oh, wow. Who knows what's happening here? I'm getting lost in the technology. So when I was younger, we were growing up in Seattle, Washington, like a lot of you, and it was a really fun time. I was really into sports, but I ran like a duck. I don't know. Were we supposed to be taught how to run? Were you guys taught how to run? Because I wasn't taught. And maybe we were supposed to like naturally just know how to do it, but I didn't know. My parents never taught me how to run. And so I ran with my feet out like a duck, and it was embarrassing. The first time when I was in baseball, playing baseball, and I actually hit the ball, which was pretty fantastic for me. I hit the ball, and it went far enough that I was able to run to first base. And I started running, and everybody started laughing. Everybody in the stands. My parents were laughing. The guy at first base was laughing so hard he was like almost crying and couldn't even catch the ball. I actually did get on base. But I blame my parents because they should have somewhere along the line taught me how to run. And then later on, my dad tried to teach me how to run, but he told me that you run on your toes. So I was running on my toes, and people started calling me Twinkle Toes. It was like I was doing some kind of ballet or something. And maybe I should have been doing ballet because ballet is cool. Ballet is very, very cool for dudes, but if you're just trying to run, and it looks like you should be running a tutu, that's a problem. It's a big, big ass problem. And I did have a big ass too. It's kind of fat, And so I run on the heels first, and then on my toes, and then like a duck. And I never got over that. That was basically how I started out. My reputation, that's how I built my reputation, was running like a duck. And it was just a struggle after that to try and just get back to normal. Just a lot of us have these early on struggles that are just rough, man. They're rough. When we were kids, it was scary, wasn't it? It was pretty scary. We were supposed to get under our desks because there was going to be a nuclear attack. And somehow we were going to be saved by getting under our desks. They used to have these drills, and they'd have everybody jump under there. And I'm thinking, why do I want to be under my desk when the end of the world happens? What's so great about Under the Desk? I remember they had this movie called The Day After, and it was about the nuclear holocaust. They called it the nuclear holocaust. And there was going to be, so all these people, and they're standing there, and all of a sudden, there was just this wave of nuclear energy, and it just evaporated them. Some of them, I think, even turned into skeletons. I think you could see their skeletons as they got evaporated. And we're just kids. We don't know. We don't know about this stuff. And so then in school, they're telling us to get under the desks. And we're like, well, I saw that movie, and I would just be totally evaporated. And there'd be just like a little pile of cinders underneath this desk. So why are you what does this have to do with anything? Why the hell would I want to get under my desk? It seems like I should be going around doing some fun stuff. All right, so let's see what this chat is. If they can do it with poop, they should be able to do it with this. That little box with legs takes your poop away, and you find out if you have colon cancer. Oh, so she's saying that for coronavirus, they maybe test our poop. There's that place, colon cancer. I've seen that ad with the guy, the little white box, bouncing around, going, "Hey, I can take your poop and I can send it in, and we can test it and find out if you have colon cancer." Exactly, they can do that. They don't have to do it with poop, but whatever it is, we give them a little sample, we send it back in, find out if you got coronavirus. Maybe you get an email. It says, yes, you have it, no, you don't. Yeah. So, all right. So get that happening. Make that happen. And then we can have the ads, the corona test ads. And we got to get this. The main thing is we got to figure this thing out. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. Pardon me. It looks like I'm actually at 30 minutes, 32 minutes. I don't know why Neil is saying it's 12:35. I don't know what he's talking about. But it's been fun, and we're going to have to do this tomorrow. We're going to be doing this at noon. Well, noonish, depending on things. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon. How do I turn this damn thing off?